On this episode of See Indonesia, we're continuing our journey to the homeland of the Batak, Lake Toba. Here in the highlands of North Sumatra, we'll dive into the fascinating yet somewhat frightening history of the Batak people. From tasting their delicious cuisine, discovering the relics of their ancestors, to taking part in the many different ways they like to have fun.
Come to the beauty, only on See Indonesia! Come to the beauty, only on See Indonesia! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lake Toba, the largest volcanic lake in the world and homeland to the proud Batak people of North Sumatra. It is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and in recent years it has also become a sort of playground for thrill seekers and speed demons alike. So I figured, let's start this episode right by shredding the waters of this majestic lake on a freaking jet ski.
Lake Toba is steeped in the rich history of the Batak people. Many believe that this is where the more than 500 Batak clans that exist today had their start. We'll be diving into a lot of that history pretty soon, but we're also here to have some fun. So let's get our blood pumping before the history lesson begins. Lake Toba, with a length of 100 kilometers and a width of 30 kilometers, is an ideal playground for water sports enthusiasts. In recent years, the lake has hosted various international racing events, including the F1 H2O World Championship. Now, I don't have a 10,000 horsepower powerboat like the one in F1 H20, so this rented jet ski will have to do. Out here, you can ride as far and as free as your heart desires. And once you're on the water like this, you truly get a sense of how big Lake Toba is. It's intimidating, and sometimes downright scary. The human brain simply can't comprehend something so vast. But I won't dwell on that for too long, because I've got lunch coming up. And when you're in a place as pretty as this, you gotta have your meal along with the view.
Nothing like a hot meal after a cold, cold day at the lake. And we got a special one today. This is ikan mas arsik, or arsik carp, if you will. And it's a very traditional Batak dish that is made using a fish that's caught right from the lake over there, Lake Toba. And it's also special for a very different reason, because it's used in a lot of Batak ceremonies, and especially weddings. The bride's family is usually the one giving this to the groom, and it's believed to bring blessings to the newlywed couple. Obviously, it's not exclusive to weddings, as I'm eating it right now. So I'm going to try it out and see how good this fish is. Yeah, you know, wouldn't mind having that in my wedding. This is some good stuff. The fish just melts in your mouth. It's so tender. And the sauce, not too spicy, it's very mild, but adds a lot to the flavor. Overall, great wedding food.
This was a pretty good sampling of what the Batak culture has to offer. But what I'm looking for is a full course meal, and I won't be able to get that where I'm standing, which is still the mainland of Sumatra. So, the place I really need to go to is the homeland of the Batak people, namely Samosir Island, which is located in the middle of Lake Toba, making it basically an island within an island. There are two ways to get to Samosir, which is either by a land bridge or by ferry. The routes are located on opposite sides of the island, so if you're traveling from Medan like us, we suggest you take the ferry. And so, we sail to Samosir, the island within an island, and homeland of the Batak people. Stick around, because we're just getting started.
Come to the beauty, only on See Indonesia! Come to the beauty, only on See Indonesia!
Our adventures on the mighty Lake Toba continue as we sail to the homeland of the Batak people, Samosir Island. This is the birthplace of Batak culture, and as such, remnants of their past still exist scattered across the island. One of which lies a mere 10 minutes away from where we docked.
So the Batak people of North Sumatra make up roughly 3% of the Indonesian population, making them a minority. However, if you live here and you notice the prominence that Batak people have in modern society, you think that was the opposite. The Batak people are loud, proud, and tough as nails. And right now, we are here in their homeland, the island within an island that is Samosir. Right now we're at the cultural heritage site of Huta Siallagan, or Siallagan village, home for a lot of the rich history that these people have. And well, today we're gonna delve right into it, starting with the iconic Rumah Bolon. So let's go, let's check that out.
Siallagan village stands as one of the oldest Batak villages still standing, estimated to be more than 400 years old. It was founded by King Laga Siallagan, who is a member of the Siallagan clan, a prominent Batak clan that still exists today. As it stands, there is very little of what remains from the original village. The traditional bolon houses that sit neatly in a row over here are simply faithful recreations of the houses that the villagers of Siallagan would have lived in back then. These houses are full of symbolism and reflect many of the core values of the Batak people. So, of course, it's gotta be the first thing I want to check out. Huta Siallagan fortunately also provides very helpful and knowledgeable guides for tourists. And on our visit, we were accompanied by Mr. Sitinjak as our guide. He explained that each bolon house consists of 3 floors, namely the ground, middle, and upper floors. The ground is where the animals are kept. The middle is the living quarters, and the upper floor is used for storage. The entrance of the house is intentionally built lower so that whoever enters must bow as a courtesy to the homeowner. Bolon houses are also commonly adorned by these carvings as good luck charms, reflecting the many values held dear by the Batak people.
Jadi kalau cicak ini juga ada artinya. Kalau bahasa Batak dibilang namanya ini boras pati. Cicak ini bisa hidup di rumah mewah, di rumah yang sederhana, di rumah yang paling sederhana. Bahwa orang Batak itu bisa hidup di mana-mana, bisa beradaptasi, bisa menyesuaikan diri. Itulah dibuat dia punya perumpamannya, ya. Jadi kalau simbol ini payudara ini, termasuk ini simbol orang yang dermawan, orang yang kaya, tapi mesti bisa membantu orang-orang yang lemah tanpa mengharapkan imbalan, ya. Dan yang kedua, sejauh-jauh manapun orang Batak itu merantau, jangan lupa kepada dia punya orang tua dan jangan lupa ke kampung halamannya. Itulah dibuat perumpamannya, ya, seperti itu. Jadi kalau warna rumah orang Batak ini ada 3 warna. Putih, merah, hitam. Yang putih itu melambangkan itu dunia atas, dunia kepercayaan. Yang merah itu melambangkan dunia kehidupan, tempat kita tinggal setiap hari. Yang hitam itu dunia kegelapan yang sudah meninggal. Itulah lambang warna rumah tersebut.
While the houses on display here are newly made replicas, there are still some authentic and well-preserved remnants of the original Siallagan village that date back hundreds of years. And these are what make Huta Siallagan truly special. Sitting in the middle of the village, under the shade of the sacred Hariara tree, is the remnants of an ancient courtroom where judgments were passed to those accused of crimes. The king and members of his court would sit on these stone chairs to hear out the defendants and sentence them if deemed necessary.
Ada hukuman-hukuman yang tidak bisa diampuni, misalnya itu membunuh, memperkosa, terlebih mata-mata musuh. Ini dia punya hukuman mesti hukum pancung. Ya?
Pancung.
Hukum pancung. Itulah aturan dibuat dengan raja. Ya, yang bisa diampuni bang itu adalah kesalahan-kesalahan kecil. Contohnya mencuri. Tapi nanti apa yang dia curi, dendanya bisa sampai berapa kali lipat, supaya orang takut berbuat kejahatan atau kesalahan.
I initially thought that the beheadings occurred on the spot, but apparently there's a different area for the execution, so obviously we also have to check that out.
So you know, Batak folk are renowned for being lawyers. Lots of them become lawyers in like the modern day right now. So it's pretty on brand for them to have a courtroom basically as part of their heritage site. It's really funny.
The execution site was just around the corner, and it is here I learned that there's a lot that goes into this than just chopping people's heads off. Ancient Batak beliefs were steeped in magic and mysticism. Back then, some people were believed to have been given invulnerability by magic, and so a complex ritual was performed in order to neutralize any enchantments someone might have before the execution can be done. I'll spare you the more gruesome details, and I'll let my guides' very expressive gestures fill in the rest. But in short, a shaman with a magical cane will conduct a ritual to remove any magical charms the convict might have. The shaman will then whack the convict a couple of times to ensure the convict is vulnerable, before finally beheading him. I don't know about you, But if I were living back in those days, I would not want to break a single rule. But to be fair, that's in the past, and Batak culture is not all grim and bloody. They're also a festive bunch who love to party and have big celebrations. And in fact, here's one now. I swear I didn't set this up. I just followed the sound of music and it led me here. And as they say, when in Batakland, do as the Bataks do.
Okay, so that was completely unplanned. That was impromptu, I assure you of that. So you know, the Batak, they're tough, they're strong, they're no nonsense, but they do love to dance and they do love to have a lot of fun.
We've sailed the waters and danced in the villages, but our adventures in the highlands are not yet over. When we return, we'll take you all the way up to one of the highest peaks in the Toba region, on the hills that kiss the clouds. So, stay tuned.
Come to the beauty, only on See Indonesia! Come to the beauty, only on See Indonesia!
We spent a lot of time admiring the beauty of Lake Toba up close. But personally, I'd say one of the best ways to view Lake Toba is from above. It is the highlands after all, and these hills are nothing to scoff at. I've biked across the winding roads of Samosir before. But today, we want to go even higher. So, we packed our bags and drove to the peaks of the hills surrounding Lake Toba, towards a small place called Togaraja. Togaraja is a relatively new tourist spot, and its biggest selling point is the magnificent scenery of Lake Toba and its surroundings. It's a view that you can only get when you're literally kissing the clouds. But there is a downside. Instead of kissing the clouds, you might find yourself being buried beneath them. We only had about, I'd say, 5 minutes to enjoy the view before a thick white fog covered the entire hilltop. Although some may consider this trip a flop, I always say that good or bad is a matter of perspective. Sure, we can't quite see the view below, but the chilly weather and the thick fog make for a unique, if rather eerie atmosphere. And besides, I can find other ways to have fun.
Start from the bottom, now we're here. Although to say that Lake Toba was the bottom is a bit of a stretch because the lake itself sits at 900 meters above sea level. But now we're on the hills, so we're as high could be. And you can tell if you're here, the fog is so thick and the air is cold. But the scenery, that's still so good. The terrain, however, is a bit rough, so I won't be biking around here. I'm gonna need something with a little bit more firepower, or in this case, horsepower. Wonder what that could be.
could always count on my good friend, the four-wheeled all-terrain vehicle, to come through for me. Our car barely made it through here in one piece on account of the rough terrain. But as they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, as this is the perfect course for an ATV. The more I rode, the more I appreciated and welcomed the fog. It's like stepping into a fantasy world, the horizon shrouded in mystery, tempting you with an allure of something special just around the corner. You just need to get past the great wide void. Of course, no such thing awaits me, but I had fun nonetheless.
This is probably what heaven looks like. And I'm not talking about how beautiful it is, more like it is a giant white void of nothingness. Don't get me wrong, without the fog it would look incredible. But you know, that's what you get for traveling to the Highlands in the middle of December. If the fog clears up, we'll show you just how it looks like. It's gonna be stunning, trust me. But if it doesn't, honestly, this does have its own sort of beauty to it too. The serene and quiet of it all, I'd say that's pretty heavenly in its own way.
And as I navigate my way through an existential crisis, we close this chapter of our adventures in Lake Toba. This majestic stretch of North Sumatran highland is not just a lake, it's a monument to resilience. The resilience of the Batak people who call it their home, and the resilience of the land itself. A land that has risen from volcanic ash into a giver of life and the birthplace of a nation. So if you still haven't been here yet, then what are you waiting for?